Your business, your rules. Grow a business that works for you. This is the Her Business Podcast. Hey there, welcome to the Her Business Podcast. I'm Susie Daphnis, I'm your host and I'm the CEO at Her Business. And first and foremost, happy 2026. Whether you're tuning in for the first time or you're a long-time listener of the show, I so appreciate you being here and I can't wait for you to see what we have in store for you this year. Now, to kick us off, Happy New Year, we have named 2026 the year of leverage. Leverage is all about doing less but getting more. So less time spent for greater returns. And that's what will structure many of the podcast episodes we create for you this year and the content that we are publishing, because leverage isn't just working less. The thing is with leverage is that you can incorporate it into every aspect of a growing business. In our sales and marketing, and of course today we are talking about marketing, in our systems, in our finances, in our planning, our products and offers, our team, even with ourselves. And it's when we weave leverage into each of these pieces that we get a business that works for us. So I can't wait to give you strategies to do that in each of those areas and introduce you to guests who will exemplify that in their own businesses. And to start the year of leverage off strong, today we are starting working in what we at Her Business call the Sales and Marketing Growth Zone. Now, our growth zones are areas of business that we focus our curriculum on to ensure that women are building really stable businesses and sustainable businesses. So January is all about sales and marketing, and this episode is all about the 6 marketing trends that are shaping the year. So to leverage, going back to the word leverage, your marketing, you have to start with intention. So no more wasted time on random strategies that don't work. No more throwing things against the wall and seeing what sticks. But to start with intention, you kind of have to know what to expect. And that's why I have a treat for you today. I have pulled some strings and I've gathered the top 2026 marketing trends from world-renowned marketers. And today you'll hear from some of those marketers, from 8 specifically, who are moving into 2026 with intention around their marketing. And each of them has spent time with me and given me the inside scoop on the marketing trends they expect to see in 2026 and how they are doubling down, how they are building their own strategy around these very trends. And what I found in our conversations was that the trends fall into 6 very distinct categories. So let's start with the first one. I love this one. Number 1 is trust is the new currency. This theme came up over and over again, that trust is the new currency. Because right now, and likely in the foreseeable future, content is cheap. It doesn't take more than 20 seconds to plug a prompt into ChatGPT and get a fully written blog post, social post, outline for a presentation, email, whatever. But guess what? That quick and cheap content, it's more likely to hurt your business than help it, because trust matters more than ever. And my friend Sharon Pope, she's an author, she's a coach in the relationship space. She said that founder-led content is so important this year because people don't know what's real or who to trust right now. She said, I think because there is so much AI slop out there, people aren't sure what's real or what to trust or who to believe. And it just creates a lot of general uncertainty. She said, I think that makes leader-led content that you actually author, really important. She said, I use AI every day, but when it comes to my blog posts or thought leadership pieces, I'm continuing to write these so they're specifically in my voice. And this is so true. Now, I'm not telling you not to use AI in your business because it's important that we do, but we want to be strategic about how we use it. It matters what you're using it for. If you want your audience to trust you, to really value your opinions, they need to hear them. They need to hear your voice. The messenger now matters just as much as the message. And my friend Tracy Harris, who's the CEO of Tracy Harris Co., and she's the host of the very popular Mums with Hustle podcast, she said this about your clients valuing trust and authenticity more than anything. She said, they want someone they trust to challenge them, activate them, or call them higher. My space is not a place of information, it's a place of transformation. And transformation happens when people see the way I live, the way I lead, the way I think, and the way I make decisions. In 2026, she says, I'm showing more of who I am and inviting my audience to rise with me. And if we think about it, we trust the people that we know, right? The people who we understand, the people with whom we have an affinity. And that's what Tracy is talking about here. She's trusting her audience and being truly vulnerable. She's letting them into her life. And in return, her audience trusts her. So that's number one. Now, this leads right into the second marketing trend for 2026. The marketing experts I interviewed are no longer just focusing on content that educates. They are also creating content that connects. And they're actually prioritizing connection over education and connection over production quality. Interesting, right? People-first marketing will outperform everything else. We are seeing a real shift away from one-size-fits-all strategies and also the manipulative tactics that really annoy me, the ones that say, the sky is falling, everything you knew about business has changed. I'm your savior because I have the key that unlocks, what's right now, and I can help you. Annoys me so much. What's working now and what will keep working is putting the individual person at the heart of your marketing. That means being intentional, building real relationships, and showing up with empathy and clarity. And you're going to hear me say those words again. So it's not about broadcasting louder or more frequently, it is about connecting better. Just as Tracy said, it's that real connection and authenticity that matters more than ever now. People want to buy from brands, and as a small business owner, you are a brand. People want to buy from brands that make them feel something, that know that you care about them. And the fastest path to that, to them knowing that, is in story, in them seeing your personality, in relatability. Now, Ingrid, who's the CEO of Style Me Happy, she said this. She said, in these AI crazy times, I will use more true stories, show more opinion and personality in my social content, as well as my launches and paid programs. Even in our emails, she says, my team will reply with their actual names now instead of just Team Style Me Happy. Those little things build a connection. And this focus on connection is backed by Tracy, who said that she's focusing on creating more worldview-driven, connection-based content. She said to me, I'm sharing the stories only I can tell, the ones shaped by my experiences, my beliefs, and my life. And I'm not just telling these stories, I'm showing them through my visual content on Instagram. Scenes from my life, moments with my family, leadership in action, my rituals, routines, and the environments that shape who I am, the details of how I think, how I move, and how I choose differently. Through my email content, she says, I'm focusing on deeper reflections and intimate conversations, worldview pieces that shift beliefs, challenge thinking, and create activation. Emails that feel like a private chat across the table. Isn't that a beautiful sentence? Emails that feel like a private chat across the table. This is the content that builds closeness. This is how people really get to know me. This is where they feel connected enough to choose me as their mentor and guide. And I want to share with you what Gabby Kitchener of the Art of Flow membership community said. She said, I am doubling down on not using AI at all. Maybe I'm shooting myself in the foot, but my very personal and real emails that are totally human and true are connecting and are a healthy part of my own creative process. So for Gabby, it's part of her own process to let her true words flow out. And she's questioning, is she shooting herself in the foot? And she's not. And I'll explain why in a few minutes. She also goes on to say, and I wanted to share this with you, is she said also part of her intention for 2026 is slowing down, pausing, not scrambling or pushing, having a gentle momentum that feels nourishing. And I want that for you too, Gabby. So I love what both Tracy and Ingrid and Gabby have said here, actually, and I 100% agree. Real connection with your audience is everything in 2026. And that means being intentional, building real relationships, and showing up, as I said earlier, with empathy and clarity. Not broadcasting louder more often, but actually connecting better, more deeply. That is trend number 2. Now, the next trend in 2026, I don't know if you'll like this one, but multiple of our experts agree that video is a non-negotiable. And the emphasis seemed to be on short-form video, but there's more. Now, if you know me and you know this show, you know that I don't believe in shoulds or non-negotiables. So, if short-form video or long-form video is not your thing and will never be your thing, no one is setting up the tripod and forcing you to turn that camera on. Remember, this is your business, your rules. But short form video is becoming a major marketing trend. I've seen it myself in 2025 and will absolutely continue on this track in 2026. And my friend Susan Bradley of the Social Sales Girls, she's been here on the show before, she said this about short form video. She said, in 2026, we're focused on creating actionable video content that our audience can use for a quick win. We'll measure success based on shares, saves, and time watched. So I will link to an episode I did with Susan recently in our show notes. She's very practical. And so she's saying in 2026, we're going to focus on video content that gives our audience a quick win, and we're going to measure that. And the way we're going to measure that, so important to measure our marketing, is on shares, saves, and time watched. And it's the same with my friend Dale Beaumont. He's the CEO of the amazing Business Blueprint community that I traveled to Croatia with this year. And he told me that his focus in 2026 is to nail short form video content. Now, he specializes in long form content. He runs multi-day programs. You can put him on a stage and he will entertain and educate you for a whole day. He's incredible. But now he's working on presenting his content in these more soundbite formats. 30 to 60 seconds. And he said this, people are watching 2, 3, 4 hours a day of short form video content. So I think if you're not there, you're missing out on a huge opportunity. And every year it becomes gradually more relevant to your future audience. And then guess who else agreed on this trend? Host of the very popular $100 MBA show, Omar Zenhom. He said this, he said, the marketing trend or strategy that we'll be focusing on in 2026 is to produce higher quality video content and trying to produce more of it so that we can reach more people through organic rather than paid, to get people more interested in our content and what we have to offer. If you scroll your feed right now, he says, you probably notice that every third post is an ad. People are becoming more synthesized to it and they're ignoring them. So you can see the pattern here. And I love what Omar's saying there. Omar is great at his podcasts. Obviously, they're like off the charts popular. And he has a YouTube channel, which he has built very successfully in the last 12 or 18 months. Now he's saying more free, organic content to draw people into their world. So you can see the pattern here. Video is the way to go. Now, if you're going to try short form video, it doesn't mean you have to dance around on Instagram, Reels or TikTok. And it doesn't mean being someone you're not. It means finding a way to show up visually, quickly and helpfully in a format that your audience and probably you consumes hours a day. And with this short form content paired with the strategies of Trend 1 and Trend 2, it means that you can create helpful, authentic, connection-based content that pulls people in and warms them up. That is leverage. That is working smarter, not harder. That is doing more with less. Now, the fourth 2026 marketing trend is something that I'm loving, and we're diving into this in her business as well. And it's about diversifying your outreach formats. I'll tell you what I mean. Now, smart marketers aren't putting all their eggs in one basket. They aren't sticking to what channel or one content format anymore. They're spreading their message in multiple ways to see what works. Not to do more, but to repurpose content to meet people where they already are. So Matt Diamonte, who is an Instagram expert and SEO specialist out of Canada, he said, I'm leaning more into different content formats, single posts, carousels, long-form YouTube, tips versus entrepreneur lifestyle, and Instagram stories. And he said, we've been seeing huge sign-ups via stories. So that's fascinating to me. We really do not use stories. They kind of terrify me a little bit because they seem like a lot of content, like being on all the time. But, I'm going to go investigate that and see how we can do that. And I'll pay attention to what Matt's doing to see how he's using stories, because he's told us he's using them to get sign-ups for what he has to offer. So in these examples, each content format serves a different purpose, right? Stories and reels are more personal and connection-based. Carousels can educate and they can give the audience insights into your life. Long-form content builds your authority and it positions you as a trusted expert. Now, each of these plays a different role in your content ecosystem. Not everyone who watches Instagram Reels will watch your long-form content on YouTube. Not everyone who scrolls through a carousel will view your story. So diversifying is key. And Tina Tower of her Empire Builder, she's doing the same thing. She said the online market has definitely shifted in 2025. She said in 2026, I'm going into paid ads for the first time. Now, Tina has run a 7-figure business for years and never done paid ads, which is quite incredible. But this year, she's going to double down on paid ads, and she's going to be running experiments to test different creative styles. She says, I'll also be doubling down on my evergreen funnels. These are the funnels that sell her programs day in, day out, and more low-cost products, because she has premium pricing for her products. So you can see she's trying a few different things. She's doing paid ads where she hasn't done them before. She's running tests to decide what creative works best. She's doubling down on evergreen funnels so people can buy from her all the time, and she's trying low-cost products. Stu McLaren, who has been here on the show before, he's the creator of the membership experience. He's a longtime friend and mentor, and he's the world-renowned expert on subscription-based businesses or membership businesses. And he echoed this. He said, in many ways, it's like the old is new again. So newsletters are becoming a much bigger focus, with the intention of using his newsletter to consistently nurture someone on our email list. And he went on to say, I'll be bringing the podcast back again, which I'm going to tell you is really good news, because his podcasts were always fantastic. He said, and so we're gearing up for that. It'll be a mix of both video and audio episodes. Now, each of these entrepreneurs is diversifying how they get their audience to hear them, to see them, and to connect with them. And the opportunity to find and connect with more people comes from the mix, from choosing the platforms and best matching your strengths and your capacity and your audience's behavior. And that's a really important piece of this trend. I'm not saying you have to be everywhere, doing all the things, trying every new strategy you can. As small business owners, we do not have the capacity, but also it's not what gets results. You can diversify where you show up while still simplifying. So thinking about that leverage. And I believe that 2026 is going to reward businesses that can cut through the noise and make things easier for themselves and their audience. And that means simplifying your offers. And that could be possibly reducing the number of things you offer, without, of course, reducing your revenue or your profit. Simplifying your message, reducing the complexity of your marketing systems. It could mean that you go more high touch and less automated, because that is zagging when everyone else is zigging. It could mean that you choose 2 or 3 platforms and go all in on those with a very clear and simple approach. You do not need to chase every new tactic. This is advice I'm giving all day, every day. You need to understand what is right for you, and then do less, but do it better. We have 6 marketing trends shaping 2026 here on this episode, and we are now up to number 5. And the 5th marketing trend is something you likely saw coming, and that is AI. But not using AI to replace your voice, but using AI to leverage your workflow. Almost every business owner I know is now using AI, but not in the way most people assume. Well, the smart ones aren't. It's not just there to spit out content. Here's what Stu said. He said, we're really leaning into AI to improve our workflows, and already it's freeing up a lot of time for our team to get out of working in the business so that they can work on the business. That means a lot more personal touches for our existing customers and members. So he is looking to AI to improve his workflows and his processes so that his team is available to be more hands-on with their clients. And he said it means we're feeding AI a ton of data from all areas of our business: our numbers, meeting transcripts, Slack messages, customer service tickets, and so much more. And the idea is that the more his AI knows, the more it can help identify gaps in the business. So he's not using AI to replace his content. He's not using it to create generalized messaging that we see out there. He's using it as a tool that aids workflow. It helps speed the process so that the humans can do the human things, the things only his people can do. And it catches the gaps that humans might not. AI is creating more time, which allows for more human connection and better marketing. And that's exactly how leverage works. In fact, just a couple of weeks ago, and I'll link to this in our show notes, Belinda Weaver was on the show talking about how she's using AI to project manage, to populate her calendar with the key milestones that are keeping her on track with her most important clients. That is how leverage works. You take something and you use it to do more with less. Now, as I said, you don't have to use AI to replace what makes your business and your marketing unique, and that's your voice, your leadership, your humanity, but you can use it to streamline everything happening behind the scenes. And Sharon Pope, who I mentioned earlier, remember she said, I use AI every day, but when it comes to my blog posts and thought leadership pieces, I'm continuing to write those so they're specifically in my voice. So more and more marketers and business owners are getting the most that they can out of AI, and I encourage you to do the same. It's completely transformed the workflow for many entrepreneurs. I know it certainly has for me, but it doesn't mean it should ever replace what makes you, you, and what makes your business, your business. And you lead the message, but let AI lighten that load and really educate yourself in that area this year. And we're going to be providing resources to support our community, our women business owners to do that. And finally, our sixth and final 2026 marketing trend is nurturing is everything. Now, we've noticed this over the last year with our own campaigns, and it connects to every other trend that we've talked about here on this episode. Leads need to be nurtured more than ever. People need to trust you. They need to know you. They need to feel like you know them. Stu's main focus is to nurture and build relationships through his newsletter and his podcast. Tracy is writing emails that feel like a private chat across the table so that people feel connected and close enough to choose her as a mentor. Sharon is focusing on leader-led content because she wants people to know that they can trust her. That is all about nurturing your leads. There's a growing awareness that big numbers, whether it's of followers, of views, of likes, they don't necessarily translate into big results. What really drives a sustainable business is having a community of people, a real group of people who know you, trust you, and they want to hear from you, and they want to buy from you. And in 2026, businesses that nurture depth over width in community are going to win. So let's review those 6 trends. Write them down. Think about how you can use them, and perhaps even take a moment to journal on how to incorporate each of these into your business in the most authentic way that you can. So number 1 is trust is the new currency. Trend number 2, content that connects is often more valuable than content that just educates. Number 3, short form video is going to introduce your face to lots of potential new ideal clients. Number 4, stick with simple yet diversified marketing formats. Number 5, use AI to leverage, not to replace your voice. And number 6, your nurture strategy is key to your growth. So everything you've heard today has one overarching theme. People want to be seen, supported, and understood, whether it's through video, a long-form blog post, a newsletter, a story from your life, a funnel designed to nurture your audience. The way you connect with your audience matters more than ever before. So this year, I invite you to step into leveraging with confidence and with support. Let go of doing everything. Lead into doing the right things. Let your voice, your opinions, your uniqueness, and your leadership be the anchor that draws the right people closer to you, leaning into you. And thank you for choosing to start your year right here with me. I love being part of your business journey, and I cannot wait for you to see what we're creating for you during this, the year of leverage. So I want to thank some people, and then I'll give you some next steps. I want to thank these people for sharing with me the strategies that they're diving deep into this year. Dale Beaumont, CEO of Business Blueprint, Omar Zenhom, host of the popular $100 MBA show, Sharon Pope, Master Life Coach and best-selling author, Stu McLaren, the founder of Membership.io and creator of the Membership Experience, Tina Tower, CEO of Her Empire Builder, Matt Damonte, Instagram expert and SEO expert at Hey Tony Agency, Susan Bradley, former guest and CEO of Social Sales Girls, and Tracy Harris, the CEO of Tracy Harris Co. and host of Mums with Hustle. And to my fellow membership owners who contributed to this episode, Ingrid, who's the CEO of Style Me Happy, and Ingrid Kitchener of the Art of Flow membership community. Thank you to both of you for your words as well. I'm going to put a link to all my guests in the show notes. You'll find the show notes at herbusiness.com/341. And I suggest you follow them and watch what they're doing in their marketing this year, because they are going to be diving into the exact strategies that they shared with me, that I shared with you here on the show. So if you want to go a step further with your marketing and you want to get the structured support of a community around this, this is your invitation to make 2026 the best year in business yet. Financially, impact, time for you, a business that works for you, that is by your rules. And so women inside the Her Business community get 24/7 support, training, strategy, accountability, camaraderie, a place to ask questions, and the humanity that is being with groups of women business owners. So if you'd like to join us, the way that it works is that you apply. We get back to you within 72 hours to let you know if we're a right fit community for you and for your business. And we don't use application to exclude anyone. We use it because we want to be very inclusive of the women that we can truly help. So head on over to herbusinessnetwork.com to apply because we would love to see you inside of the community. Now, if you want to learn from any of the phenomenal experts who shared their 2026 marketing trend predictions, as I said, I'm going to put all their information over at herbusiness.com/341. So thank you for taking time to listen today. I like to read messages from you, so feel free to reach out to me. You can direct message me on Instagram. You'll find us at @herbusiness, where we post daily marketing tips and business tips. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. You can call my office. Just reach out. And if you enjoyed this episode, do me a favor and leave a rating or review on Apple Podcasts. Or again, you can shoot me a message directly. Once again, a summary of today's episode, links to my beautiful guests are over at herbusiness.com/341. I'm so excited for this year, and I hope you are too. And let's really lean into this year of leverage. How do we do more with less? As I said, all month, here we are in January 2026, we are focused on sales and marketing, one of the biggest levers. When we can get our offers working, when we can get our marketing working, when our marketing isn't costing us more than it's giving us, then we absolutely create a more sustainable business. So we are here to support you with that. Thank you for joining me. See you next week right here on the Her Business Podcast. Bye for now.